My name is Lila Macapagal, and my life has become a rom-com cliché. Not many romantic comedies feature an Asian American lead, or dead bodies, but more on that later. But all the hallmarks are there. Girl from an improbably named small town in the Midwest moves to the big city to make a name for herself and find love. Check. Girl achieves these things only for the world to come crashing down when she walks in on her fiancé getting down and dirty with their next-door neighbors. Yes, plural. Double check. Girl then moves back home in disgrace and finds work reinvigorating her aunt's failing business. Well, now we're up to a hat trick of cliches. And to put the cherry on top, in the trope of all tropes, I even reconnected with my high school sweetheart after moving back to town and discovered the true meaning of Christmas. Okay, that last part is a joke, but I really did run into my high school sweetheart, Derek Winter, my first love. Too bad he'd aged into a ridiculous jerk with a puffed-up sense of importance and weird vendetta against my family. Pretty much tried to shut down my aunt's restaurant on a weekly basis. Odd behavior from the guy who'd wanted to marry me right after graduating from high school, but what can I say? I had exceptionally bad taste when I was younger. You're dumb when you're 15 and hopped up on hormones. Heck, I'm 25 and still make bad decisions based on those same dumb hormones. Hence, I was working at my Tita Rosie's restaurant rather than running my own cafe, which is what I'd been going to school for before I found out Sam was a cheating scumbag. That was right around the time my aunt sent me a distress signal. And here we are. So, instead of grinding my own coffee beans or brewing the delightful loose-leaf teas I'd sourced for my dream cafe in Chicago, I now spent every morning preparing mugs of Kopiko 3-in-1 in my hometown of Shady Palms, Illinois, over 2 hours outside the city. And yes, the town really was named Shady Palms. Rumor has it some rich dude from the Caribbean got homesick after moving to the area and tried transplanting a bunch of palm trees along the main street. Surprise, surprise, they didn't take, so he replaced them with tacky plastic replicas. Both the fake palms and the name stuck. Anyway, the morning clientele at my tita's restaurant always included a bevy of gossiping aunties. None as loud or nosy as the group of 50-something-year-old women I privately referred to as the calendar crew. Their names were April, May, and June. They weren't related, but all three of them were completely interchangeable, down to their bad perms, love of floral patterns, and need to provide running commentary on my life. It was their due, after all. They were my godmothers, yes, plural. They bore the important title of Ninang and were my late mother's best friends. They loved and cared about me, in their own infuriating way. I brought over their morning plate of pandesal, and they descended like a pack of locusts upon the dish of lightly sweetened Filipino bread, spreading the warm rolls with butter and dipping them in their coffee or drizzling them with condensed milk. And like locusts, once they were done devouring one thing, they moved as a pack onto their next victim. Me. Lila, why is everything you wear always dark? You look like a bruja. And your hair's always in that ponytail and hat, not sexy. Ay nako, what is this? You get bigger every time I see you, huh? This last statement, accompanied by a firm pinch of my arm fat, was from Ninang April, who always had to have the final say. April always was the cruelest month. I was used to these digs against my appearance. It was how older Asians showed affection. While I was no beauty queen, well, except for that one time, but that's a story for another day, my brown skin glowed and my long black hair was thick and shiny from straightening it every morning. My pride and joy. Too bad I had to keep it under a baseball cap for work. I could ignore my godmother's first two comments. While being told you look like a witch would bother most people, I considered it a compliment. I loved natural remedies, dark color palettes, and made bewitchingly delicious baked goods. So I'd learned to lean into the bruja image. Everyone needed a personal brand.